Ready, hunt!
Can you talk about Trent Rattery and his evolution, where he came from as a walk-on to where he is now as a senior? And what do you think?
Yeah, Trent's done a lot here. He's been a great contributor, a great teammate, works hard all the time, and just continues to make plays for us. So we've always appreciated the hard work Trent's given us.
He sort of apologized today for having fun at your expense, telling the story about when you didn't know his name early. He said, he said it's my first. He said it's my first, second, or third game. He said I just got here. He said I made it sound like I'd been here a while. So he apologized. My question is, just like a teacher in school, how tough is it to learn everybody's names?
It's not the easiest when you have 120 or 115, and then especially new guys show up. It takes a little while. In fact, we had a new kicker out there. I called him New Guy for about a week. And in fact, best story, when we were at Florida, we had a guy showed up my first year there. So by the third year, he had went all through for 4 years. His nickname was New Guy. We knew his name, but even position coaches, guys on the team always just called him New Guy. So for 4 years, he was New Guy. So you do your best, and eventually you get him,
You get them more easily, though, because you get to know them. I don't know that all college coaches do.
Oh, I think all college coaches do. I've never been around one who doesn't, But I'm not. I don't know. I guess maybe you know some that don't, but.
One that preceded you here by a couple of coaches.
Oh well, I don't. Well, then maybe you do know something I don't know.
Because he played from almost when he first got here. Was that something you guys identified? You know about him before he got here? Because he wasn't a big recruiter or anything like that. He was a walk-on.
Yeah, but we have guys show up, and when they show up, we play them all. And guy starts making plays. He's got some size. He's got some speed. He's got some hands. We pay attention to all our guys. And we notice, even if guys are on scout teams, sometimes those young guys think you're not paying attention. We don't miss much. We see guys that, for instance, way back when Quentin Griffin was here, we're going through some practices. The first 4 games, he doesn't play, and we can't touch him. We're defense. He's making them look silly. And I understand we're not going full speed. You kind of break down because you don't want piles, but still. Quentin's all over the place, and then we had a few injuries, and I said to the offensive coaches, look, if you hadn't been watching this our defensive practices, you need to. This guy is special. So then we played him the rest of the year, and he did great. So we're always watching those guys.
Another walk-on, or what's going to walk on. What do you remember of Wes Welker in high school?
I remember him being an excellent football player. He was great. At the time, it's not like we were short of receivers. I think through that time period, we had Mark Clayton, Brandon Jones, Mark Bradley. Not like we were short on receivers. So, but Wes is, he's special. I love watching him. I always told him that. I remember grabbing him his senior year after one of the games, and I said, I wish we'd have had you. He goes, Coach, this has been great for me. He goes, and it's not like you haven't had guys. I said, you got a good point, And maybe with the systems, it wouldn't have been as good for him here. And he obviously was in a fabulous system for what he does. And so, anyway, you got to appreciate how well he plays.
Shake hands with every player before the game. How special is that for you, and where does that come from?
It's just something I've always done. I think it's my way of letting them know I appreciate them. I appreciate the work you did all week. And we're getting ready to play. And I believe in when you play and when you're competitive, there's a lot of you that's exposed and it's out there fighting and competing. And to me, it's a special moment, those 4 hours or 3.5 hours. And it's my way of wishing them luck with it, and that I appreciate them and what you're about to do. I expect you to do it well, but I appreciate the hard work.
Talking about Welker, it just makes me want to ask you, are there some guys that you can just never project? You know,
That's
they may
hard.
dominate at one level, but they just don't project, and nobody projects it for them.
It's an inexact science. I mean, obviously, you see guys that aren't highly recruited explode and do great. You see some guys that are highly recruited that don't. You see guys at the collegiate level you think going on to the NFL are going to really do something and don't. It's just hard. It is hard to project.
On that topic, is Bill Snyder a coach? And I guess I'm also fishing for a comment about the season he's having, but is he a coach that sees things in some guys that other guys just don't see, but when they get there, he gets it out?
Sure, that's fair to say. You know, he does do a great job projecting, and he does a great job developing, obviously. And I saw it firsthand and was part of it for 7 years.
How do guys like Whaley and Mark Bradley, who are great athletes and got all the intangibles?
I think sometimes people see them at development, and some guys develop at different stages, or maybe a little bit later, and then people have already done their evaluating or are already filled with other people, and so. You know, they're still. That's why I always say even freshmen here, by the time they're seniors, change drastically. A lot of them, you know, just physically and what they're able to do, and mentally, emotionally, the whole thing.
Is it tougher? A lot of schools fill up all their scholarships before a kid has ever played down as a senior.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's part of the deal. You can choose not to, and then take your chance on what's left, or you're forced to try and project ahead of time to really see what, you know. Will this happen for the guy? Will he be what you expect him to be? So it's always, you know, that part's tough, you know, and you do your best with it.
Are you amazed that a guy like Bradley or Whaley slip through the recruiting tracks and they don't get offers and they end up going to small college with all the names and all the resources that are out there?
It's really not that surprising. Let's face it, the NFL's full of guys from little schools that didn't go to major universities. I mean, full of them. The league's full of them. So that happens everywhere.
Would you have like advice for somebody like a kid like that? Whaley said he didn't go to any camps. Nobody knew about him. Is that the way to get noticed nowadays?
I mean, it's one of the ways. I mean, you can be noticed by going to camps, but also I think as much as anything, how you play your senior year and getting tape and getting that information out to people.
Coach, being back home this week, everyone expects you guys to win and win big just because you continue to do it. Is the dominance of your program at home one of the things that you're most proud of what you've done here?
No, I'm most proud of really the championships overall, but you know, that's not something I really pay attention to. It's just sounds boring, but it's just, to me, it's just one this week. You know, that's it. I'm sorry. I wish, but I don't have anything else, you know, to say about it. It's, you know, and I think like I said, anyway, it just makes when you lose at home more noticeable because we haven't lost at home. You know, if you lose at home and away, it's not a big deal.
Well, I guess that's the point, is that you guys never lose at home. So, I mean.
Yeah, we have. We've lost twice here, so. Well, that's, there you have it.
Hey, Bob couldn't ask you, he asked me to ask you. Is it okay?
Bob?
No. Roy Finch, you want to know about Roy Finch. Is he okay?
Yeah, well, he practiced yesterday, so we expect him to be okay. You know, if he isn't, I'll let you know at the end of the week. But I expect him to be. If that means anything. All right, thanks.